Coming up on today's Lauren's Crazy Pet Show, more astounding lost dog rescue tales thanks to some very dedicated volunteers. A 240-year-old institution that makes Connecticut unique among states. And ice cream so delicious, it's even good in the snow. Welcome to Lauren's Crazy Pet Show, everybody. This is Lexi and her mom, Brandy. Now, you might recognize Lexi because she was on dozens of missing posters. Lexi was missing for over 40 days, but thanks to the help of a group we just did a story on, Connecticut Doggone Recovery, she is back home, look, with her mom safe and sound, and it's just a miracle. Brandy, like Emma, Lexi was missing for over 40 days, and now she's home.
Yeah, we're so happy to have her back. We really are.
Must have just been a nightmare for you.
Well, yes, it was beyond a nightmare. Worst 6 weeks of my life, truly. We were visiting a friend's farm and we went for a hike, and when we came back, they have large farm animals there that they keep penned in with an electric fence. And Lexi's been there a whole bunch of times before and usually stays well clear of it. And this day, for some reason, she just touched it with her nose, got really scared, yelped, ran back. She started to run away. I called her back. She started coming back and then all of a sudden just took off. We went after her, but she was gone by the time we got over to the house.
This dog mom and her brother and some other friends were out walking around in the woods trying to find her, and she was nowhere to be found. So the owner got in touch with our group, Connecticut Doggone Recovery, and we set into action. I drove up to Wilton that night. I met with the owner. She showed me where the dog went missing. She showed me around the property. We set up 2 food stations, which means that we put up some really tasty food like rotisserie chicken, hot dogs, things with high scent value. We also use this stuff, liquid smoke, which is our golden sauce here. This stuff is amazing. It's very fragrant. It's hickory smell or barbecue smell, and we just douse all around the area. Dogs have tremendous sense of smell, so we were thinking we could draw her back to, we had 2 cameras set up at 2 different locations. Maybe she'll go to one of those 2 places and we'll get her on camera. Well, that didn't happen. No Lexi. She's off in the woods.
We responded to phone calls and sightings of her at first right away, racing there, and then after talking to an expert in California who sort of is a dog behavioralist and really understands the way they think, she told us to stop rushing to sightings, stop going into the woods looking for her, that she wouldn't be able to recognize that it was us, and all those things would be scary for her and make her run away. So we stopped all of it and we just started going door to door in different neighborhoods where she was seen. We talked to everybody we passed on the street.
The next thing we did was we got these posters up. These are really super helpful to get sightings. What we do is put this poster on top of this bright yellow neon paper, and it really draws attention, so you can see a driver's eyes are going to be drawn to that poster, and that's what we want. We want people to recognize, oh, this dog is missing, there's the phone number, just in case they see it.
We posted flyers on every telephone pole, and then if she moved to a new area, we started the entire process over again.
Then the dog disappeared for a bit and went over to New York State, crossed over into South Salem, came back through Ridgefield. She was in New Canaan for a while at Waveney Park. She went to North Stamford, and then she actually headed to Greenwich. I was thinking, oh man, this is deja vu. It's like the Shiloh Shepherd story, but in reverse. The owner did a fantastic job of getting the word out that Lexi was missing. They went and knocked on everybody's doors in the neighborhood. If you have a security camera, please keep your eye on it. Put food in the spot where it's visible on your camera so that if we see her walk through the yard, we'll know.
And eventually that started to work, and Lexi stopped and stayed in one place for the first time in the entire 6 weeks. The last week she stayed in one neighborhood, and that was in North Stamford.
Carol, the head of our group, came down with 3 kennel traps, and I have a box trap, a 5-foot box trap, and we set all the traps up in 4 different backyards, each about a quarter of a mile from each other.
And this one guy, Jorge, did all the right things. He walked out of his backyard, saw her in his yard, they saw each other. He took like 5 steps back, which is what we told people to do, don't call to her, don't try to chase her. He took 5 steps back, turned his back to her, called us. She left the yard anyway, but she saw it as a non-threatening place. She wasn't pursued, no one was trying to get her or call her. So it was a safe place for her to come back. And we set a trap there that afternoon. And that night at about 2 in the morning, I was actually watching. We have trail cameras. And throughout the night, a baby possum came, went halfway in the trap, and almost set it off. And had that happened, all would have been lost that night. And then a couple hours later, Lexi ran right by the trap, and I was like, oh God, she went there, but she didn't go in, you know, what are we gonna do? And 5 minutes later, I got a blow up of like 30 pictures, and it was all Lexi walking in slowly, and then the door shutting behind her, and she was in the trap.
And we were both crying on the phone, she's in the trap, I can't believe it, she's in the trap. I mean, this is 42 days praying that this dog is gonna be found, and she went in.
We couldn't take her out of the crate right away because, you know, we're out in the wilderness, so we picked up the crate and put it in the back of my car and drove her here, put her in the garage, and as soon as we opened the door, she went running around like crazy, went to every person in my family, kissing them and crying, and she ran right to where her food and water normally are, and then right to where her treats are kept, and like shoved her face in like the big bag begging for food. But she looks really good. She's gaining weight slowly. She had a few wounds on her. They're healing pretty well. We're really, really relieved and very happy to have her home.
Such a beautiful ending. But that wasn't the only miracle story the Connecticut Doggone Recovery volunteers were involved in that week. When we come back, we have an even more amazing rescue to tell you about. Stay tuned.